Hi, my name's Rich Boren with Cruiser Services, and in today's Schenker Watermaker Tech class, we're going to answer a question I saw in one of the online forums today, and that was about cleaning your water tanks. It's a very common question that cruisers run into. It's not specific to Schenker Watermakers. It's common with cruisers that are using all brands of water makers. So I think it's a good important topic for the cruiser fleet. So let's jump right in. So I get the phone call, hey Rich, what's happening? I'm 6 months into cruising. My Watermaker water used to taste great. Now it's tasting a little odd. So one of the things we check right away is we'll sample the water out of your Watermaker. Well, then the report comes back, hey, it tastes great. Okay, now we've identified a very common problem. The dock water is bringing in chlorine with it. So every time you fill your boat with dock water, you're cleaning your tank, your pump, your water lines heading through the boat, your hot water heater, all of your freshwater lines are being cleaned because you're bringing on dock water with chlorine. Once you head out cruising and start living off Watermaker water, there is no chlorine cleaning agent being added to your tanks, going into your water lines. So usually it can take about 3 to 6 months for algae and things to start growing inside your tank, because remember, your tank is open to the air with your tank vent. So each time you run your water pump and it's pulling water out of your tank, it's pulling air in from outside your boat into your water tank to displace it. So that's bringing in algae spores and whatever other type of things that are going to want to grow inside your water tank. Or if you're periodically filling your tanks with dock water, whatever was in that dock water from whatever marinas you're in now, maybe in a place where they don't have as good fresh water, that's building up the animals that are living in the tank. So what we found is about every 6 months, we needed to clean our water tanks. We used a 1/4 cup of bleach for every 50 gallons of water. We would do that every 6 months to clean and sterilize our water tanks. If we didn't, we would find that the water tanks and the water from the tank would start to get a little smelly and off tasting. Now, as all of you know, chlorine damages an RO membrane. So after you do a tank cleaning, you never want to just immediately then go do a freshwater flush, because the activated carbon filter that is in your Watermaker to remove chlorine during a freshwater flush, that's not designed to handle a tank cleaning level of oxidant chlorine. It's there to handle normal dock water levels. So after you've cleaned your tank out, filled it up with fresh water, and then added a little bleach to clean it, you're then going to need to let that tank sit, let the chlorine off gas to a level that you don't taste it anymore when you're sampling the tank. Then your activated carbon filter should do a good job of removing that. Boats with multiple water tanks can do this fairly easily. Like on our boat, we had 4 water tanks. So we were pulling out of one tank. We could chlorinate tank number 3. We're pulling out of tank number 1. That tank then has a while to sit for the chlorine to naturally off gas before it went into the flush rotation, or we would switch the valve to pull drinking water out of that tank. For folks that don't have enough tankage in individual tanks, maybe you just have one large tank, or you have 2 tanks and you're not able to isolate and let the tank sit long enough because maybe both of your tanks fill together. Well, that's not a good way to do it. I'd like to be able to run out of tank A, leave tank B isolated, but if the boat's set up that way, it's set up that way. So what you can do then is add some chlorine bleach to the water tank, let it sit, then drain that water out, sacrifice that water as part of your tank cleaning. Turn on all your faucets, turn on your shower, turn on whatever freshwater spigots you have when the chlorine is in the tank so that it's going through the tubing, going through the faucet fixtures, keeping everything clean. What we did on our boat is one final step to make sure our tank water tasted good is that right after our pressurized galley pump, we installed a standard activated carbon filter, a block filter, just like the one you're using in the Watermaker now for chlorine removal. So right after the water pump, we would install the carbon filter, change that every 3 months. Now, not just the galley water that you're drinking has had whatever odors, taste, flavors removed. When you're brushing your teeth in your forward head, that water isn't stinky. When you're taking a shower, that water doesn't have an odd flavor or smell to it. So, two things we found when we're out cruising that are going to keep the tanks in good shape separate from your Watermaker so that your Watermaker water still tastes good when you're ready to drink it. Keep your tanks clean and install an activated carbon filter after your freshwater galley pump so that all of the outlets on your boat now have filtered water. And it's not as much filtering from a particulate side, but going through an activated carbon filter which removes tastes, odors, smells. That can go a long way to making your tank water taste as good coming out of the tank as it did going into the tank from your Watermaker. Well, that's it for today's Watermaker tech class. If you have any questions you'd like to see me talk about, just shoot me an email. I'll be happy to cover topics on one of our next tech class. Hey everyone, have a great day and enjoy your Watermaker.